This podcast is fucking trash. This content is absolutely awful. Whoever watches this, in my opinion, is just boring. Like, this sucks. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bethany. On this channel, we talk about deconstructing from toxic religion, and we also shine a light on problematic Christian influencers, especially if they are exploiting their children on the internet. So if any of that resonates with you, go ahead and like this video, share it with a friend, and always be sure to subscribe. If you want to receive videos 12 to 24 hours early, you can become a YouTube member or patron, and all of that is in the description box below. And if you would like to support me, you can also just buy me a coffee, which is super cool. Again, everything's in the description box below. And you can subscribe to my second channel where I talk all things fitness, nutrition, and overall wellness. Okay, today it is like, I don't want to say like part 2, but in addition to the video that I uploaded yesterday, where we talked about the reasons why people just don't really like Matt and Abby. And today we are diving deeper into the Unplanned podcast, the podcast where they talk about why they no longer sleep in the same bed. Now, to preface, before we go into this podcast, I want to say once again that I understand that it's not that big of a deal mutually if a couple wants to sleep separately. Like, that's not like a foreign thing, right? Because of snoring or whatever. I don't know. I've known couples to do that, and it's mutual and it's fine. However, in this particular situation, it is not mutual. Abby hates it, and in my opinion and a lot of other people's opinions, the reason behind Matt doing it is extremely selfish. So that's what we are going to talk about today. This podcast episode is like a little over an hour long, so I'm going to bump it up to 1.25 speed, and if there are cuts in here, it's just the topic was boring, and I don't want y'all to have to sit through, boring stuff if I don't really have an opinion on it. So without further ado, let's get into Matt and Abby's Unplanned podcast. The title is Sleeping in Separate Beds, Loneliness, and Making Friends as an Adult. All right, here we go.
Abby and I are sleeping in separate beds.
Does this mean that you're separating from me?
What?
Let's take that out.
I love being married.
I want to die in that house.
Here you are talking about death, and you always get on me about talking about death.
You talk about it in the context of like dying with me still here.
That's probably going to happen. Like,
Please
statistically,
stop
that's going to
saying
happen.
that.
Loneliness as an adult, it is an epidemic in our society. Everything was handed to us in college, but then we leave and we're like lonelier than we've ever been in our entire lives. Welcome back to the Unplanned podcast, everybody. Thank you for being here. How are you feeling right now? What?
I'm in a really funny mood today.
It's cold out today, so every time I touch like a microphone or the camera, we get shocked. Like, it's been so frustrating.
What is the
trying
science
to set up
behind
all
that?
of our gear. I just kept getting zapped. So I feel like I've gotten tased multiple times today.
Yeah, I was making you really mad. You said a couple not good words.
You're looking good today, babe.
Thank you.
You're still looking so hot.
Have you ever heard of the winter uglies?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Okay, I think he speaks way too fast. That even if it's 1.25, it's very, very quick. And I'm in the like the 2 seconds, I was like, holy shit, like, what's going on? So I'm just gonna play it normal. I'm sorry if it's a bit longer, but like, I can't, like, my brain can't comprehend like what he's saying because it's so fast. Okay, here we go.
Just talking about it with my friend, and it's a real thing. Like,
the winter uglies.
Yeah, like, summer you're feeling tan, you're feeling like your hair's brighter.
Well, you got the winter sexies.
No, I don't. Because the other day I was like, I literally didn't do it. We had a kid sick, and so I literally didn't do anything to myself all day, and I just felt like I might not be able to look at myself in the mirror without self-tanner on one more time before I was gonna physically gag.
You've been looking so
That was so
good.
dramatic, but I do feel like I'm experiencing the winter uglies, you know?
I wouldn't actually disagree with that.
Well, you're just being kind.
I think
you.
you've gotten more attractive since we started dating.
You know, I will agree with that.
Yeah, I think you're very hot.
I also was a child when we started dating.
Yeah. Can we just like, dude, we should
I
like
became
throw
a
up
woman.
throw up a picture of us like when we first started dating. We were children,
Be
dude.
honest with me.
We were children.
I feel like my face has slimmed down a little bit. Like I had like kid chubby cheeks.
I mean, you still got chubby cheeks, to be
still
honest. They're so cute. They're cute though. I like them. They're cute.
You know, I don't think there's a way for me to not have them be chubby.
You're cute. I really like you.
Thank you.
I think
I
you're
like you
a
too.
beautiful. How do you feel about what I just launched a couple of days ago?
I have mixed feelings.
Why do you have mixed
I mean,
feelings?
for being completely honest, I'm like, this feels like, I think we know now what a big project something like this is, like what this undertaking is.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I'm like,
Okay, if you remember, if you watched, which please watch the video before this, I paused it and I was like, I need to tell y'all something. What is it? It just, oh my God, just popped in my brain. Okay, so his solo podcast is, you know, like him in the bed, in the closet. His goal, like he wants to have people on his podcast. I don't remember what it was called. He named it. But even in like the logo, it had a bed on it. So what he wants to do is interview people, but in the bed with him. So it's super strange because he's like, I just love to get to know people and blah, 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 you know, what every podcast host says. I'm just really interested in people. But he wants to do the podcast in a bed, like even females. And I'm like, how in the actual hell is that? Like, that's weird. Like, that's weird. Like, it's like Drew Barrymore on her show when she's like getting all cozy, but like to the extreme. Like, and a straight dude is probably not gonna feel comfortable doing that in a bed, and especially since you are a married man, you should not have another married woman or even a single woman, even just whatever, another woman in the bed with you just to be comfortable so I can interview you. Like, that's super strange. But I wanted to tell y'all that because it was weird, and because he said that in the podcast episode, his solo podcast episode, in that whole entire video, he had said that. And I'm like, that's so strange. Anyway, it just hit me. Carry on.
a little nervous about it.
We've been doing this show for 2 years now, babe.
I know. So I'm like, wow, are we really gonna, this has been a lot.
I know. Well, I think that's the funny thing is, like, you think of a podcast, you're like, I just have to talk for an hour. That's so easy. You do a podcast and you're like, oh, like, if you want to do it well, there's a lot that goes into it. Anyway,
So I'm like, man, will I ever see my husband again?
you're worried that I'm gonna just like never spend time with you anymore.
Yeah, because you're.
Oh, wait, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna spend a lot of time with you. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
Okay.
No, okay. So I realized this, you guys. I call this. There's a concept that I like to refer to as creator hell. So it's when you're.
It's all coming back to me. This is another thing that I forgot to put in. Well, I just it lost my mind. Oh my God. So I literally did that video yesterday, and I just couldn't for the life of me find like come back to my thoughts of what I was like paused it for. And then I took my puppies on a walk, and I was like, what in the world? And I was like, you know what? When I film the next video, I bet it's going to hit me. And would you look at that? So another thing that I wanted to tell y'all is a reason why people are not like jiving with what's going on is because in the podcast episode, he talks about the many things that he has tried to like for his mental health and to be able to sleep, but nothing has been working. He literally names absolutely anything and everything besides getting help, like besides going to therapy. Like, from what we know right now, he has not done that, but he is like naming off all of the mental health issues that he has been having causing him to have to sleep in the closet, but he is not going to therapy. Like, that is not being a thing that he has said that he is doing. I wanted to tell y'all that as well. So he's trying to do like anything and everything besides getting real help, which is super strange. Anyway,
creator and you do literally everything yourself, because it's almost like you're a small business owner. Like, say you open a taco stand and you are the sole owner, so you have to clean everything and cook everything and do all the branding and do all the marketing. Like, you are the entire team. Being a creator is the same way. Like, when you start off making content, you are the analyst, you are the marketer, you are the on-camera person. So where the heck was I going with that? Oh, the reason I'm saying all that is because I'm saying screw you to that whole idea of doing everything myself. And I have someone helping me edit the show. I have someone helping me produce the show. So it's not complete. Like, okay, let me be honest. I'm still doing a ton of stuff myself.
It's mostly like your brain space is being, your brain real estate has been taken up.
Cause it's like, I can be in person with you, but my brain is thinking about all the stuff I have to do.
I've already even seen that one.
Like you want more real estate.
Your brain real estate is very.
Like, you want real.
So why wouldn't you have that conversation with her before actually starting the podcast? I feel like from what this sounds like, he started the podcast without even not like checking with her, but without communicating like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is going to take up whatever time, or like, what do you think about this? It's like she found out that he was doing this like the same time that he put it out. You know what I mean?
In my brain.
Yeah.
I want real. Yeah, I like that. I want real estate in your brain too.
You got it.
Okay.
I already planned. I got stuff in my head for you.
So, I mean, if you guys haven't seen yet, I went ahead and I launched a new podcast. It's called The Night Shift, or actually, no, I think I changed it to Night Shift just to be like cooler, because that sounds like way cooler. It's called Night Shift with Matt
I like
Howard.
that better, actually.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Like? Oh. And the whole idea is really, I was talking to my sister-in-law's dad, who's been in the radio business for 50 years. And I was like, holy crap, you've done radio for 50 years? He's like, yeah, I love doing it. And I'm like, wait, so you don't have to do this anymore to pay your bills? He's like, oh no, we're good. Like, we've got enough savings, but I do this because it's fun for me. And it kind of like something clicked there where I was like, wait a second. I don't see myself doing music forever. I don't see myself doing TikTok forever, but I can see myself literally podcasting and interviewing people when I'm 80 years old, because I genuinely love doing this so much. So I'm very excited. I'm so excited to see where that show takes me and takes us. And yeah, it's gonna be a really fun time.
Does this mean that you're separating from me?
What? No, the Unplanned podcast is here to stay.
I think people think that this might be because we're separating because you're sleeping separate from me
Oh,
again.
yeah, that was episode 1. So episode 1 is me talking about why Abby and I are sleeping in separate beds, which you can watch the episode to hear about. I talk about it for almost an hour, so there's a pretty good explanation. But I want to get your thoughts, though, on like how you feel about sleeping alone, though.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No.
Sleeping alone?
No, I complain about it every night.
Why in the world is it like quite literally they're hashing this out, sitting down with a camera with mics, instead of having communication, instead of actually talking about these things before a podcast? Like, I just feel like these like, even like Paul and Morgan again, they don't it seems like they don't talk about shit unless there's a camera in their face so they can put it out to the public. Like, clearly she has said a lot, like, I don't like to sleep alone. Oh, you don't like it? Oh, you like, it's the first, like, it's either he's putting on a show, which, put a pin in that real quick, both Matt and Abby went to college for theater, for dancing / acting. So movie theater was more of Matt, and like the dancing aspect and acting was more of Abby. So, I mean, they know how to put on a face, essentially. They know how to act. They know how to, like, act the part. So it's like, are you just hearing this, like, for real? Or are you just putting on, like, oh, you don't like it, let's talk about it? But surely he's had to know. They haven't been sleeping in the same bed for a month. I hate it already.
I?
You do. I'm so sorry.
No, it's just, I'm a lonely gal. See, here's the thing. Say what you want. I am codependent. And I like went from being a kid in my parents' house to being roommates with people in college to sleeping with you. And I shared a room in college. It wasn't like I ever like even had my own bedroom.
You and your brother used to like share a bed sometimes too.
Yeah.
Probably should not put that on the internet, but
no, it's
too
fine.
late.
He's my brother.
Too late, yeah.
He's my brother, and I was just like, I hated being alone at night.
Yeah.
And I have that thing where I have to say my last words out of my mouth have to be good night, I love you.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, what if I say something else just on my own?
Yeah, I guess, you know what it probably is I saw my parents, like growing up, my parents did not share a bedroom, really. They would
When
just
you were a
sleep
kid
separate.
even?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I didn't actually know that.
I hope I'm not like trying to air, like they're open about this. Everybody knows that. But like my dad just has sleep problems, and then my mom also gets sleep problems. So they sleep better if they sleep separately, because they wake each other up in the night, and then
maybe that's why it's so much more normal for you.
They also go to bed at different times. They wake up at different times. So it doesn't mean that they're like, you know, them not sleeping together has nothing to do with the health of their marriage. It has nothing to do with that at all.
It can be a marker of like an unhealthy marriage, or it can just be like you have different schedules, you have different sleep situations. Which
is
our case.
I feel like me sleeping in a separate room, which is technically the closet, has actually been really good.
We're in the same room, but not in the same bed.
I've literally been sleeping in the closet. I've actually been sleeping in our walk-in closet.
Dude, I don't know the person who could willingly just listen to them chat. Like, there are people in the comments who are like, oh, these are my favorite episodes when you and Abby just sit and talk to each other. Like, freaking why? Like, why? Like, the amount of times they're like speaking at the same time or trying to speak over each other, like, oh my god. And the stuff that they talk about is not interesting. It's really not. I just want the tea of like why they're sleeping separately, which obviously is his mental health, but good god, the people who willingly just like, I'm gonna listen to Unplanned, like, bleh, why?
I have a couple other gripes about this. It's hard to put my clothes away and get to my clothes.
That's true, because there's a queen size mattress in there, because I moved that.
And it's a big closet, don't get me wrong, but not that big.
I mean, I moved the queen mattress from our guest bedroom to the closet.
Yeah.
Because, okay, here's the thing, and I talk way more about this in the episode. If you can't tell, I'm really excited for you guys to go listen to it, so you should check it out. Okay, I'm gonna stop self-promoting now. But the closet, though, it's so dark, it's so quiet, and I have a tiny little AC unit in there that makes it really cold. I've got a portable humidifier as well that makes it very like, just the air is so,
you guys, as
so
I'm
good
seeing more
and humid.
And more gadgets enter the closet, the more I roll my eyes.
And I bet y'all's clothes are like super damp too.
Man, he's really settling in here. Like, why don't you just get a freaking mini fridge at this point?
I honestly, that's next on my list. That's next on my list. I could have some beverages in there.
You're kidding.
I also even got these. A friend of mine got me these noise canceling headphones with this device that touches your vagus nerve on the side of your neck.
I hated
and
that.
It kind of massages your vagus nerve to calm you down, so you can get really good sleep at night. So it was like the sleep paradise. Like, I created my own sleep paradise in this closet.
I have no words.
Oh,
you know what?
And essential. I also have been using essential oils.
Yeah. You forgot to say the lavender.
I freaking love essential oils are great. And
you're
look,
so high maintenance.
Let me just say this, okay? I don't believe. Sorry if this offends someone. I love you still. I don't believe in the whole essential oil crap. I just don't. But it smells so good.
A bunch of people just clicked on it.
We just lost about 1,000 subscribers.
No, I believe in it because if you like it, it will.
Well, I think the placebo effect is real, and I think if something makes you feel awesome.
Okay, then that's great then.
Yeah.
So then it works.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of like a feeling, you know?
Okay. Well, I haven't done my research on that, so
Yeah.
I'm not supporting that. So do not just come for Matt if you are an essential oil person.
My buddy at the gym was like, dude, your skin looks amazing. And I was like, that's probably because I'm getting more than 2 hours of sleep at night now.
Your guy friend noticed your skin?
Yeah, he was like, bro, your skin looks better than it used to. And I was like, thank you, homie.
Wow.
No, but I think...
I don't think he understands what what she's getting at. Like, no, like my guy friend actually like really okay. I'm gonna tell y'all this. This is my opinion. There's nothing wrong with it. This is just my opinion. Matt and Abby got they started dating when they were in high school. He was a theater kid. They started dating in high school. They grew up Christian. And then they decided to go to the same college together. They went, like, they were out separate high schools and then went to the same college together. And then from there, they got engaged, got married while they were in college, blah, blah, blah. I think Matt's gay. Love me, hate me. I think so. There are so many times where he like talks about his mental health and he says that he is just unhappy, and how, like we talked about in the last video, that after she gave birth, he was just like, well, my life is ruined and I have to think about my kids now instead of what I want to do, which that doesn't say, like, you know, but it's more of just the unhappiness. Like, he has written songs about how unfulfilled he is when he has, I mean, all the money in the world, huge platforms, a beautiful wife, kids. Like, he is just and then, like, some of the mannerisms and, like, what he just did here. Like, not saying, like, it's not a bad thing, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I think he is, I don't know, dude. Some of the stuff that he says is just like, hey, that's what she said. Like, your man friend said your skin. Yeah. My guy friend said my skin. But, like, for a man's man, like, that's not normal. There's no man who is saying, hey, dude, your skin looks great. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he's just hiding a lot because of the Christian background. And, of course, because of this. Well, I don't know. Well, now that I think about it, he has said over and over, well, he also could be overcompensating, because he talks about how hot Abby is, which is great, which wonderful. But he also has said stuff like about her breastfeeding and how he thinks that's super sexy, which I don't know. Like, I just feel like there are so many things about Matt that are not seen, and that is why he has mental health issues. The amount that he says, like, I don't know, dude. I think, which a lot of the comments, I think he was on TikTok. A lot of the comments have touched on him being homosexual. So, I don't know, man. That's just my opinion. There's nothing wrong with it. I just, like, he says how unhappy he is and how unfulfilled, and then he talks about dudes sometimes. So, I don't know.
My skin was looking horrible because I just wasn't sleeping.
Yeah.
I think like stress and just like
You know what I can't decide?
insomnia was freaking screwing me up, dude. Screwed me
I
up.
feel like, speaking of the winter uglies, that's when I was really noticing. I was like, feel like I'm getting the earliest signs.
What is the winter? You don't have winter uglies, babe.
I was getting the first signs
hot.
of wrinkles.
You look so hot.
And I'm feeling like, I know that they're not severe.
You don't.
But, like, I'm recognizing them.
You
and
don't
I know
have
people
winter
my
uglies.
age do stuff about them, but then I'm like, am I going to be the type of person? I'm always in this battle, right? Am I going to be the type of person that embraces my body's signs of aging and, like, almost like wears it like a trophy? Like, these are, like, laughter lines from all the times that I have belly laughed with friends, and, like, these are, you know.
I think it's a good thing though. Like,
should I embrace it, or should I just, like, try to fight it? You know.
Maybe I don't know what it is about me, but I think that you as a mom is really hot.
Really, thank you.
Yeah,
I feel like
I think
being
a
a mom
mature,
is what gave me the wrinkles.
I think like a mature looking Abby is a really good looking Abby.
Thank you. That's very
And
nice.
I'm excited to see you change over time because I'm gonna get to love every different version of you. It's
That's
gonna be
great.
like your.
Well, that was sweet. That was a nice thing to say. Which this is what you see in especially women influencers when they weren't social media influencers to when they have millions of followers. You see their boobs get different. Sometimes their butt gets different because they get a BBL or just like a lift or whatever. And then their hair is always done, usually some type of blonde something. They always have lashes, and then they get the lips done, and then they have Botox. Like, it's like as soon as I get a million followers, it's like I wake up and then all of a sudden they look different. Like, you can see so many women influencers who, what they look like when they started versus like what they are now, and it's completely different. Like, of course, they have the Botox and the lips, and they always put their lashes on and all that stuff, and it's sad that she is thinking that like winter uglies. I've never heard of it. That's stupid. But that's sad. Like, I think Abby's beautiful. Her voice freaking drives me bananas because I'm like a little kid, just like freaking Morgan. So I don't understand that. But I think she's beautiful. I love that Matt's, talking her up, which is like also overcompensation. I don't know. I think, well, maybe he's just a super emotional man, which also he should go get his T checked. Now that I'm thinking about it, with his sleeping and like him really, really talking about, just emotional things. I wonder if he has low T. Anyway. So, and all the mental health stuff, that could also be a symptom too. So, I don't remember really what I was saying, but I think Abby is beautiful, and I hate that she's talking about winter ugly stuff because she's very, very far from that. But again, once you're in that social media world, start comparing yourself to other women on social media, and it's like, well, I do have wrinkles. She's not even in her 30s yet, and she's like, oh, I'm starting to see wrinkles, which when you start seeing like the laugh lines stay a little longer than normal, or forehead wrinkles or whatever, sure, it's like, oh shit, like I am actually growing in age, and I've seen that in myself. But it's like, dude, do you want to put yourself through Botox? You want to have that maintenance? Like, no judgment on you if you do that, but it's just another thing that you have to, like, just embrace it, dude. Regardless, you're gonna have to age. Stop trying to reverse it. That's all. Just stop trying to reverse it. You're fine.
It's just gonna be kind of fun. It's gonna keep things interesting,
It will be. You never know who you're gonna get. I've changed way more in our relationship than you have.
Yeah, like, I mean, especially like with how women can dye their hair and cut it. Like your hair.
Yeah, dude. When we started dating, I was so young. I had never highlighted my hair.
Your hair's changed a lot, and I've liked that at every stage. Like, for a while, you had your hair really short and blonde, and that was really hot. And now your hair is long and blonde, and I like that too, actually.
Yeah, here's the thing. I think I'm gonna stay blonde for a while.
I like you blonde.
I like it too.
You do look really good blonde.
I feel like it suits me more. Honestly, when I dye my hair is the exact same color as our first son. What I was gonna say is the reason why I think it bothers me more than you, because like learning this about your parents, like I knew they slept in separate beds now, but I didn't know that was a thing growing up.
Oh, yeah.
My parents have never, ever, even when my mom was throwing up in the night, my mom was like, why don't you go to the guest bedroom? And my dad literally said to her, not sarcastically, said, well, in sickness and in health.
Oh, yeah.
And he stayed in the bed with her when she's vomiting, and he had to wake up early for work. That's the background I'm coming from. Not saying they're better at all, but like, we'll be together even if it's the most inconvenient thing.
That's hilarious. Yeah, no, for me, I guess we've just seen
we've seen
things modeled for us differently in the houses we grew up in.
And you know what? Both of our parents have healthy marriages.
Yes.
So It's not a commentary on your marriage, although it could be, because there are some people that aren't sleeping in separate beds because they just don't like each other.
Dude, we've been having some really great times now that we sleep in separate beds. Like, I feel like I have so much more energy now.
We're still very much married. Still very much husband and wife.
It's been great.
Yes,
it's been wonderful.
I would agree.
I love being married.
I would agree. So yeah, I mean, I'm hoping this is a temporary setup. Is the end in sight?
Is the end in sight?
Yeah, for this closet.
You know, I think it is, because we're finally getting blinds in our house. We're finally going to have blackout, like, I can finally have darkness in our room.
They're taking a long time to ship, and then we still have to get special ones for the doors.
Abby's been hosting book clubs.
Yes,
at our house. Didn't you have your book club read a book where there was like a sex scene every other page, and then
I did not,
and everyone rated it a bad rating?
It was not. No, that's not true.
Do you have any hot takes on that? Like, do you think that's like what do you? Because
it's called smut.
What is that?
Smut is like spice scenes in books.
Is this something that you learned on Book Talk?
Probably.
Wait, okay, hold up though.
Smut is a word though.
But you don't have TikTok, so how are you learning about Book Talk?
YouTube and Instagram.
Oh, you're on YouTube book stuff. Okay, okay. Sorry, explain it to me. Smut. What is this?
Smut is like the spice level in books. People will rank it like based on like jalapeno peppers. So like the max spice you could get is like 5 jalapeno peppers.
What are people's qualms though with reading intimate books? Because doesn't that just make you want to explore with your spouse?
Matt, there's a lot. Some people don't enjoy reading that.
Oh, it just makes them feel uncomfy.
Yeah, and some people have like moral reasons. For not wanting to read that.
Okay, that's fair.
It's not really like, at that point, it's not really literary. Like, it's entering a different category.
You know what is so interesting?
It's like pornography in a book.
Okay, what is so interesting though is how
I don't like that.
America is about sex.
No, man, I don't like it though.
Which is fine. Like, you don't have to like it, but it's so interesting.
I'd rather read about thrillers.
So I was talking to my friend Garrett. He's traveled the world with his family. Their YouTube channel is called The Buckless Family. And something he was telling me was, by traveling the world, he's learned a lot about how different cultures view intimacy and, relationships, marriage, all that. And he was telling me about how when cinematographers and, editors work on projects for like National Geographic, filming animals in the wild, right? So they're seeing animals eat other animals, mate with each other. Do you know what he told me that they do?
You already told me this, but I can act like it's the first time you told me this.
Okay, pretend this is the first time.
We actually do talk off the podcast.
Yeah, we actually have conversations.
I was on the toilet when you told me.
Okay, but pretend you're not on the toilet. Pretend you're hearing this for the first time.
No, what do cinematographers do?
What they do is they cut out all the sex scenes for American audiences, because Americans are so taboo when it comes to sex. And then they keep all the violence in. But then for European audiences, they keep all the mating and sex scenes of the animals, but cut out all the violence, because Europeans are like, whoa, violence, like that's not okay. It's just so interesting how different the cultures are. Because like growing up, when I was a kid, if there was ever an intimate scene in a movie, my mom would be like, skip it, skip it, skip it, which is fine. Like, I'm not saying, that's the way she chose to raise me. It's weird how Americans are like, oh, violence is chill, but oh, intimacy, not okay. And Europe is completely different, completely opposite. Like,
I wouldn't have thought that though. I will tell you, I am shocked by the violence and stuff nowadays, but I wouldn't have thought that. I feel like there is a lot of sex in our stuff.
You think so? But I guess
I feel like it's all behind like I feel like I'm thinking about like OnlyFans or like websites online. It's not really like as much it's in movies and stuff too though.
But it's just not talked about in our culture, when that's literally how everyone got here. Like, your parents had to do.
No, what? It's not talked about in like the church and in Christian culture. But sex is 100% talked about in like, the secular world. And there's soft porn on freaking Netflix. What are you talking about?
Something to make you be here, and their parents had to do something to make them be here.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about all that.
And I think it really leads back. This is my theory. I could be completely wrong. This is me just using an educated guess. But because people that came to America were fleeing for religious freedom from Europe, and we had a very Puritan, very, extremely strict religious, society back in like the 1700s. I think those ideas still affect our culture today, to where
I don't know, though.
We're very different than Europe. Because in Europe, they're like, oh, the body is beautiful. Like, we can celebrate the human body.
I see that.
They're all like, oh, the Renaissance, and they have like naked statues of like men and women up in Europe. But here we're like, oh, Like,
I'll be honest with you. I feel like we're far from Puritan nowadays, though.
We are.
We are far.
But still, the intimacy stuff is taboo when it's like, that's just kind of, it's like part of this.
No, it's not. Again, in Christian culture, sure, but freaking, this is the time, which I'll let y'all know. No, this is the time where, like, it is the most accepted to, for example, for like sponsorships and partnerships of YouTube channels, of YouTube videos. There is a sexual toy company that actually reached out to me the other day, and I'm not to like sponsor. It was like my first real life sponsorship like opportunity, but I will never sponsor with somebody who like I don't already use or want to like condone, or not saying like toys are bad, but like, because I don't use them like regularly, you know, and I just feel uncomfortable having that on my channel, you know. Other creators do it all the time, but what I'm saying is it is the most accepted time in the world, I guess, in life, where saying, hey, I got sponsored to share with y'all that I use this vibrator and it's the best ever, whereas 5-10 years ago, like, that would have been taboo and like, no, what are you doing? It is the most accepted time for like hooking up. It is the most accepted time for, you know, OnlyFans, for porn, you know. I mean, those things, in my opinion, I don't think are acceptable, but for culture, it is accepted, and it's deemed as okay. Are some of those things, like, in my opinion, shouldn't be deemed as, yes. I don't think a lot of those sexual deviant whatever is okay in a sense. I mean, obviously you can do whatever you want, but at the end of the day, like, in this culture right now, sex is accepted. Sexual preferences are accepted. The toys are accepted. Other than like Christian culture, I think that's accepted. Not entirely sure what he's talking about.
Life, you know, it's like part of the, you know, everybody mates. Every single animal does. I don't know why I'm talking about this right now. But so is
violence.
Yeah, violence is normal too. But I'm like, maybe Europe and the Americas, I guess North America, can learn from each other and be like, hey, maybe we recognize that both of these things exist.
That's actually a really good point. You saying that kind of stuck with me. I've been thinking about that.
So anyway, so back to your smut. Let's talk about smut though.
I like a little bit.
You like a little bit of smut?
A little bit.
Why a little bit?
I don't know. I think if it's done romantically, I like it.
Yeah. So
I mean, I'm an adult. I'm a married woman.
Yeah. So it just makes you think about your husband.
I guess, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. So this is the smut level. It's like 1 through 10, and it's just like little jalapeno peppers.
Yeah. Like, I'd probably like a 2.
That seems extremely low to me.
Matt, you would be shocked by what's in some books.
To Butcher and Blackbird, what's the smut level of that one?
That would probably be a 5 for me. I mean, there's a scene that is like 30 pages.
Oh my gosh. You did read me a paragraph from that book, and I
had to Google things. I was scarred. That for me wasn't romantic.
Oh yeah.
That was shocking.
See, some couples are into that stuff, man.
You know what? And then they'll probably love that book. That's what I truly believe. Like, me rating a book means nothing, because what I like in a certain time of my life, in a certain season, you know, might be totally different.
Wait, this was the other thing I wanted to say. Last thing I wanted to say about intimacy across the world, because I just went on this trip with a bunch of different creators. It was a bunch of dads, and we just went surfing in Nicaragua. But some of these people,
it's so funny how nonchalant he says that. Like, it was just like another trip. Like, oh, I just went into town again. You know, just went 10 minutes down the road, or went to McDonald's again. He says it like it's just a normal thing. Oh, we just went and surfed somewhere. It's fine. It's no big deal. It was so nonchalant.
Trip went on missions in other countries.
Yeah.
And again, with how uptight America is about sex and, you know, and people seeing each other's bodies, just like modesty. Like these missionary, like these people, you know, they're LDS, so they went on a mission for 2 years.
Was I wrong? I thought they were Christians. Were they Mormon? Huh.
They were telling me how when they were just serving a mission in Latin America, women would just like take their top off, be completely topless, and then have a baby like pop on their boob.
Yeah,
and that was just like really normal there.
Yeah.
Which is like
really,
it kind of makes you rethink, like, why is that? Why do we make that such a weird thing here? You know, why do we make that?
Yeah. See, I have to feel both ways about that, because like as a woman who's nursed 2 babies, I feel like I would get so frustrated with the freaking covers and like,
oh, it's wrong.
Things just getting like, the baby would get frustrated, it'd be hot, it'd be just like just a hassle.
And as a dude, I've never worn a shirt. Like I literally walk around shirtless.
Probably because
all
of the culture and just like personal reasons too. Like I really don't want to be exposed.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that I want you to walk around like that, but I'm just saying like the fact
I feel like it's actually illegal here.
No, it is.
Even if you're nursing,
I'm pretty sure it is.
No one's gonna actually press charges if you're nursing a baby.
But it's crazy though. Like it's crazy that we like. Why are we
like feeding your child should never be a crime? I don't. Yeah, we definitely got some problems up in this country.
I think people have just got a little too uptight, you know.
Maybe, but also if people want to cover up and be modest. Then that's all right too.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Like
I think I'm a pretty modest person.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's like why hearing those stories made me think, why is our culture so vastly different? And it's okay for cultures to be different, right? Like we don't have to, just because in Latin America they do things differently than we do in North America, does not mean that we need to change. But
it's good to have that perspective that like, this is not the only way to do things.
Yes, I think it's really important to learn from other fields of thought.
Yes, I would agree.
So, cool. Well, I was today years old when I learned about smut.
Yeah, I would say I like a 2, maybe a 3.
Can you teach me a little bit more about book talk and the whole world of books?
So I can give you some lingo.
Okay, yeah. Teach me.
So, TBR, do you know what that is?
Absolutely no idea.
To be read.
To be
read. So,
read.
like, I have, like, a pretty decent TBR right now, but I haven't had as much flexible time in my mind to read.
Yeah.
You know, I get frustrated when people say, I don't have time to do that.
Okay.
That bothers me.
Oh, yeah. You don't
I'm like we all
that.
have the same amount of time in the day.
Yeah.
I choose to say, I didn't choose to spend my time that way.
That's good.
Now, I understand with, like, kids and work, these obligations feel like they're not flexible. Mm-hmm. But that's why I said I didn't feel like I had enough flexible time.
Yeah.
To spend that way.
Yeah.
But we all have time to do things.
TBR, to be read. So, when you say TBR, that's like you have like a list of books that you're going to read?
Yeah, that I want to read.
Gotcha.
So some people, if they're being very specific, they have a physical TBR, and then they're like a digital TBR. Mine are all digital, basically, because
Y'all, this is so difficult. This is the dumbest video / podcast I've ever listened to. It's quite literally just them talking as a couple. Like, oh my god. This isn't interesting.
Read on a Kindle.
Yeah.
Do you know what a DTF is?
Down to
so no,
frick.
No,
down to frick.
DNF. I'm so sorry.
Down to frick. I'm down to frick today.
That's a different acronym.
After this podcast,
that's the wrong acronym.
Are you down to frick after this podcast?
No. DNF. The fact that you actually text me that 5.5 years into our marriage.
I did.
Frequently.
It's kind of hot.
No, frequently.
Doesn't like when you see DTF in your messages from your husband, aren't you like?
I'm just shocked that that's my husband sending me that. DNF. What does DNF mean?
Do it now. Sorry.
It means did not finish. Like, if you start a book and you did not finish it.
Oh, got it.
Like, because you did not like it mostly.
Do you think I'm funny?
I think you're hilarious.
Actually?
Yeah.
Have I gotten funnier?
I think you're funnier when you're not trying to be funny.
That's right. Yes. I think you're right about that.
I
found that I'm actually funnier when I make fun of myself because
Do you see what I'm talking about when I say selfish? when he is asking her about her book stuff, which is boring as all get out, but in the midst of a sentence, he said, am I funny? I think Matt, he revolves around himself. Everything like he speaks about, he might show interest, but it always comes back to him. I didn't cut anything. Like, it just quite literally went into did not read, did not finish. Am I funny? Yeah, I think I'm more funny when I'm not even trying. Oh my god, he's a child.
I'm actually
But I don't want you to be self-deprecating. I want you to be...
Well, I think self-deprecating humor is hilarious, though. I think it's one of the best forms of humor.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Yes, I for sure. But the thing is with humor is that it creates laughter and it's funny. I've never, like, nothing he has said, I've chuckled. I've even, like, felt bad, so I had to, like, he is not funny. These influencers aren't effing funny. Even if you are self-deprecating, like, it's not funny. You're not a funny person.
It's not my humor.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
I feel like my humor is like what would make a 2-year-old.
I think marrying into your family has helped me understand
My family is sarcastic.
comedy more because your family's sarcastic. I literally, all that went over my head as a child.
But sarcastic does not always equal comedy.
Because my mother she could not be further from sarcasm.
That's fine. She's
a sweet woman,
so sweet.
And she's just in her own world, and she'll probably never understand sarcasm ever, and that's okay.
fine.
And
She's
that's
so
okay.
nice.
But I feel like
it's better that way.
But understanding sarcasm has helped me, like, see the world in color now,
Well, because you used to think that when people were sarcastic with you, they were being mean to you.
I did. I really did.
Which, I mean, I will acknowledge sometimes there's overlap there.
There is. Yeah, you can be too sarcastic to a point of being mean.
Yeah. But a lot of times it's just, like, lighthearted.
Yeah.
So DNF means you did not finish it. That's something I don't do. I always see it through. It's part of my personality. I'm loyal.
Why do you do, like, you read some crappy books, though.
I don't.
Or, like, if you're, like, when you scroll on social media, you will watch everything from start to finish, no matter what.
I'm going to see it through.
Why?
Because I'm going to see it through. I'm loyal. I also don't want to overstimulate myself.
You're hilarious.
I'm going to make it as least stimulating as possible.
Even they're bored. He's yawning. She's yawned like 2 or 3 times. Like, I think they're only here because, like, their managers or whatever's like, okay, we have to get a podcast out. Not because they actually want to. This is terrible content. God knows how they have almost 1 million subscribers, because this content is absolutely freaking terrible.
So, question for you. How was it single parenting with me gone Monday through Friday in Nicaragua?
I was tired, but it was a lot of fun. Honestly, built me some confidence.
Yeah, I bet.
I was like, man, if Matt were to get in a freak accident.
Dude, this whole culture, this whole new thing of saying single parenting or I'm single for a weekend just because you are away from your spouse or your partner, whatever, it's freaking weird. You're like solo parenting or single parenting when, like, my husband's gone. Like, that is it's such an odd, I don't know, it's an odd mindset, I guess, or like an odd phrase, because I've never heard that being used besides social media, like today, of the solo parenting, but my wife is at work. It's like, okay, so you're not the only parent. She's just not there, and you're having to watch the kids by yourself. Like, it's freaking weird. This podcast sucks. I'm gonna have to cut so much because they are talking about nothing that's important or nothing that is, like, like mind consuming, I guess. Like I thought this was going to be more of why they are sleeping in separate beds, which they probably talked about for freaking 2 minutes, and then the rest is really just awful. I really feel like they are, like, there is just no way people are listening to this just willy-nilly just because. Like, there is no situation that I don't know, dude. So we're almost done with the podcast. I don't know how long this video is gonna be. This podcast, like I said, was a little bit over an hour long, but I'm gonna cut a lot of it, of just the things that I have like opinions about, because I also wanted to like fill time and give y'all something of value, or like commentary, reaction, whatever. But dear heavens, I'm struggling.
I could hold down the fort.
That's amazing. So you just felt like a super powered, like you felt like a super mom.
Yeah, I feel like it kicked into like some type of mode. Like I had,
and they're never solo parenting because in-laws live in their house, which is not a bad thing. I also know a lot of other cultures do that. Like, that's a norm. Like, their grandparents take care of their kids, all that, which I think is super cool. But this isn't real. Like, there's no real life solo parenting. I was the only parent because your in-laws are also there helping raise your children,
meet all their needs.
Yeah.
And so I didn't think, I just did.
Was it hard to like cook and clean and
it's pretty much a mess, and I didn't really cook any fancy meals.
You just kept it kind of simple.
Kept it simple.
Do you do any trips to Chick-fil-A?
He's asking what normal like parents do. Was it difficult to clean and cook and watch the kids? These people, they just have like no ounce of reality.
At the play place, I feel like that's our go-to. Whenever we're like really tired, Chick-fil-A play place is the move.
I didn't do that this time. No.
Why are those not more of a thing? Like, I feel like not every McDonald's has a play place.
They are germ fests.
Okay, that's true.
They are.
Maybe that's why our kids keep getting sick so much.
I know. That's why I didn't take them.
We should stop taking them to the Chick-fil-A play place.
I mean, I don't take them that much. Like, we did like once or twice a month. I'm really sleepy.
Well, thank you so much.
You should have moved me from like chair to this couch.
I know. I like that my hand's on your leg. I think you're a really pretty woman.
Oh, wow.
Well, thank you for tuning in. I mean, is there anything else I'm going to say?
Am I starting this preschool or what? Open enrollment today for One Smart Cookie.
Well, I thought you said it's only for our friends' kids.
It's only for our friends' kids.
So it's not really like we're not opening it up to the public.
So.
Okay, y'all. I can't do it. It is almost over, and no, I lied. It is over, and like there's, like I said, there's gonna be so many things that I cut out because it is boring as all get out. Like, I am not going to like have y'all watch and listen to something that I don't even care to listen to, or like not have an opinion on, because like I don't want my content to turn out not fun, because that might happen because their content is all. But this, I wish, like, I'm glad that I did do this, because it shows me how boring their podcast is. And the next time I do something, or like there's tea involved or whatever, I'll just like watch snippets of it and then report back to y'all. This podcast is fucking trash. This content is absolutely awful. Whoever watches this, in my opinion, is just boring. Like, this sucks. Like, even their mannerisms just look like they don't want to be there. They are yawning 1,700 times, which is, like, I'm not saying, like, don't yawn. Like, sure, but if you're gonna yawn too, like, don't do it in the mic. And I know this is supposed to be, like, a cozy and whatever podcast, but, like, come on, dude. Like, if you don't want to be there, just don't be there. Like, this is actually terrible. Anyway, I appreciate y'all for watching this. I'll keep an eye out for what I thought they were going to talk more about this, but this is the reason I wanted to cover it, because Abby doesn't like it. This is not a mutual thing. I think Matt is extremely selfish, and his whole world just like revolves around just him. Anyway, again, I appreciate y'all. Please let me know what your comments are down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.